Hello, everyone. This is another episode of McKinstry's on the Move. I am Michael McKinstry. This is
Shaquan McKinstry.
all right. We're gonna be touching on a few topics of many reasons of why we moved.
I know that's like a hot topic because not a lot of people do it. At least not a lot of people I know do it. So it's always, well, why? Why you gonna move? Why you gonna do that? So hopefully in this episode we'll be able to let all of our friends and family and new family that's joining us on this move know why we made the decision to do it. So first topic of conversation is just that, why we moved. So you go ahead and you go first because we're going to talk about like our personal decisions, right? Like, because we're individuals and we have our own reasons for doing things and so on and so forth. So it's like my why may not necessarily be his why may not necessarily be my why. So how about this? Why did you move?
Well, my wife has this keen sense of just knowing stuff, and she let me know early on, like, yo, this election coming up, because mind you, this is way back. This election coming up, and Trump trying to get in there again, and we don't know, and all his policies, and what he's trying to, and I'm ready to go. And I just looked, and she brought it up some time later. I'm ready to go. Okay. And then, boom, we start prepping to hit the door.
So for you, it's because of my keen sense of political knowledge.
I'm gonna say political, but you don't be wrong. You don't be wrong. It's like that spidey sense. You know. And I'm like, all right, bet.
That's cool. He bet on my intuition. For me personally, why I wanted to move, the United States never really gelled with me in terms of like my own core sense like of belief, right? Like I believe that everybody should have a certain standard of living.
Okay.
Plain and simple, like regardless of anything. But our system is a capitalistic society, so it's very much so you have to pay to play. And that just doesn't gel well with me. Like, everybody deserves clean air and water and education and access to food and healthcare. And, like, that is a basic standard of living. And I think every single person deserves that because you can't get to, like, so there's a hierarchy of living, right?
Okay.
Just like the food pyramid. I'll show it to you later. But yeah, no, it's a real thing. And on the bottom of it, it's just like food, water, shelter.
Okay.
And you have to have those basic needs met before you can even go to the next tier.
Okay.
And the next tier, let's say it's like, and I'm paraphrasing, right? But it's like, maybe it's hobbies and reading and self-awareness, but you can never even get to that point if you're still stuck here. And I feel like the United States as a whole, we're stuck there. We're stuck constantly on quality education, water, food, healthcare. So we can never actually like reach our full potential as people, let alone a society, because we're down here fighting for basic needs on a day in, day out basis. And that does not gel well with me.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know that there's other ways of living. Like I've experienced it. I've traveled extensively. I know that it does not have to be that way. And first, it never worked for me. And then when I realized it didn't have to be that way, I was just like, oh yeah, so no. That was it. It was just no. So essentially, that was my reason on why we moved. So let me ask you this. You trusted your wife's intuition, but how did you come to the choice of like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make the move, I'm on board 100%, because like, me saying something versus you actually being on board to make the choice, two complete different things. Because I was gung-ho.
Without?
No, I'm not saying that. I was gung-ho on the choice.
Okay, so what did it for me was, I guess the timing. It was really just the timing of everything. So she spoke about it, or she dropped a little seed on me way in advance, well before we prepped and started moving. I'm gonna say at least a year and some change into us being together. Like,
No. That's not fair. Because before we were actually together, I was just like, so, you know I don't want to raise kids out here, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's not fair. I dropped that beforehand, before we were actually together.
maybe.
No, maybe. Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
I was clear on my decision.
But she hit me with, yeah, so about this move, I'm gearing up, I'm ready, I'm picking, I'm looking, I'm choosing, I'm trying to find. And then as time progressed, because we had options of what about here or what about here, and what about here.
Yeah, we went to a few different countries because of the criteria that we had at the time.
Right. And Portugal won. So what happened was the timing of everything, home was good, our health or whatever was okay, but we wanted better, we wanted more out of it. So, you know, we started looking, and we landed on Portugal essentially, and it was a good choice.
Okay.
But what made it like come into
What solidified it for you?
yeah, it was like everything was just lining up perfectly. Work life was okay, finances were okay or comfortable. The things we wanted or needed were almost like we must have. No, we don't must have anything. So it was like, all right, cool. We're getting better at just mellowing out till we just comfortable, just doing what we got to do, taking care of business at home. And there wasn't so much left on the table for us to try to do. And that was like, all right.
There wasn't more things on the checklist that we just had to do, had to take care of before actually making a move.
No.
So
it's time to make it real.
Yeah. So for me, I came to the choice of actually like going ahead and moving forward because it was something that I had wanted. It was something that I had thought about, and it was something that I had started to plan for. And then it was like, okay, but why am I not actually just doing it? And I made it more practical for myself. I was like, okay, if I gotta do it, these things need to be in place, right? And I think that touched on what you were talking about. Like for me, it was like, I knew that there was a certain type of visa that I wanted to go for. I wanted to go for the retirement visa. Was to go for the retirement visa, I had to actually be retired. So I had to like finish up that process. And yes, we're retired. And it was like all of these different checklists, but they were really real and they were tangible, and it was things that we could do. So it wasn't just like a fictional thing to think about or like a plan to have or a small checklist. It was like, oh no, this is really doable. And the more I read about like the news that was going on here in Portugal and like all the different advantages that we would have, and the longer we kind of took and waited, we would lose out on some of those advantages.
The window went
We're talking about the NHR. So if you don't know, the NHR is the non-habitual residence, non-resident NHR, non-habitual residence tax scheme that Portugal put out. And essentially it was just to say, hey, everybody, we're welcoming all of you to come, and if you choose to come be a resident here, we'll give you a flat tax rate. And that flat tax rate was very appealing. Very appealing. You did not want to lose out on that. In addition to all the other things that Portugal has to offer. So, again, the window went from this to this. And so it was like, gotta move, gotta do it. I made a phone call to a relocation company. And in that phone call, it made it really, 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 really real. You know, because after that phone call, you put down some money.
It was like, hey, we're doing this, right?
Because I done put down this money, so we got to move forward. And so essentially that was that. It went from just a goal to a plan to action. Yep. Yeah. But why did you choose this place? Why did you choose to go ahead and move? What were some of the like key factors into actually making the decision? Because like I have mine, I got a whole list. Because again, this was something that I wanted. I had done research on. I had been looking at Portugal for, when we had that conversation, probably 7-8 years. That's a long time.
I didn't have all that time to prepare.
Yeah, I have been deep in preparation.
Yeah, I was busy. I was mentally trying to push for more, the American dream.
Yeah.
But you know, you got to baby step. If ain't nobody gonna help you, you got to baby step your way off.
The American dream, that black excellence, huh?
I tried.
Yeah.
Anywho, key factor. A key factor for me was late. Might I add you? Cause I'm on board. I'm just like, let's do it. We gonna go. I'm already prepped. But key factor for me was, mind you, we did a scouting trip. So it was like when we came out on our scouting trip, you know, we talked about little things, you know. So one of the things was the education, and then the way the children learn, how they go out into the world during school hours.
Yeah, it's much different than what we're used to in the United States. Like, there is a sense of community and trust, like actually with the teacher, you know what I mean? In the United States, the teacher touch your kid, you ready to spaz. But here, the teachers are comforting and they're almost seen as, I won't say second parents, but definitely caregivers. Like, they give hugs and kisses and they get to know your child's like personality and like all of the things. Like, they know your kid. And so they like take them on, I wouldn't even say field trips, because they just go out in the neighborhood.
It's just outing.
They just go out in the neighborhood.
They go gardening.
They go
They
gardening.
go playgrounds.
They go to the playgrounds and the
Of course,
parks.
the library.
They do.
Parks.
And this isn't like a special situation. Like, this is the norm. The kids are a part of the culture. They're a part of the community. And that's a part of their education day in, day out. And the teachers facilitate it.
Yeah.
So seeing that was
It was a plus.
It was a plus. It was a key factor for
Yeah, it was a key factor because I know me, and I know my energy, and I know my children. All of them have some of my energy. So me knowing that, them being able to rip around, let some of that out, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a plus.
Yeah.
But on like, aside from that, that was one that was key. But another one was like just, okay, because we already booked in on this, we're making this move, but on the way to the airport, you know, we going to the airport and we driving, and I see a police car. I see a police car got somebody pulled over, the lights are flashing and whatnot, and I'm like, dang, just looking, being nosy. And my kids in the back seat, and they see the lights as well, flashing. And my kid says, "Ooh, look, Daddy, police!" Like, they're excited. Now, I grew up in LA, South Central. You know, you don't get excited when you see the police.
It's not a ooh situation,
So,
especially as being black. That's not it.
Yeah. So that pure excitement my children was soaking up from the police. Like, I'm like, yo, us leaving now, they'll never have that feeling tarnished by, oh crap, what did I do wrong feeling.
Even if you haven't done anything wrong, it makes you second guess yourself when you see those lights or you see the siren already behind you. It's like, did I pay the registration? Is my insurance good? Am my hands on 10 and 2?
I got my seatbelt on.
Right, like,
Did anybody stand up?
am I wearing anything inconspicuous? Like,
do I fit the description?
do you fit the description?
Bro,
Yeah.
you never have to experience that? Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like just that, like it was like that for me on the way to the airport. And it was like, okay, yeah. No, we're like, yes, we're leaving, but no, let's hurry up and go.
Yeah, before the effects of the United States fully take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that for me. What about you? Do you have any
Key factors. Mine's are like more global. Right? It is. Mine's are more broad scale. I mean, because of course, the broad scale affects the small scale, right?
It tilts.
It does. It affects it.
It tilts.
But like, my stuff is more broad scale, mainly because, honestly, like I said, the broad scale affects the small scale. And for me, it was just simply knowing the differences between Portugal and the United States is kind of what made the difference for me. Those key factors, like for instance, in the United States, the literacy rate
Okay.
in terms of education.
Okay.
So it's about 40%, which means half of the adults in the United States know how to read. And of that 40%, 70% of those can't read above a third grade level.
Ouch.
Yeah. So
Ouch.
I'm entrusting the education of my children to who? To where? To what? To a very litigious society? But these people can't even read past the third grade level? That's a solid no for me. That's a solid no for me.
But
What?
no.
Oh, I'm like, what? so education, right? Like that's a given. And then when it comes to safety, and not just like safety in terms of, again, on a broad scale, but safety for my skin complexion, because my kids are black. No matter where we go, we're gonna show up as black. So where can we be safe in the world, but not just safe in general, but safe as a black person? And Portugal actually fit. In terms of the Global Safety Index, it's ranked 7th. 7th in the whole world.
Date matters. So,
What you mean?
like, is it as of today the numbers?
Oh yeah, for 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they do it every year.
Okay, I just want to make
It's
sure.
based on a yearly
I
basis.
just want to make sure we touch on
Yeah.
that a little.
No. For the year of 2024, Portugal is ranked the 7th safest country in the world. Whereas the United States, hold on, let me check my notes. Let me see. Oh, 132nd.
132.
132. 7? 132. And so we function here
At the 132.
at the 132. We know the dangers of the 132.
Yeah.
We know like the dangers of the 132.
Me no
Let's
like
go and go to that 7.
Yeah, me no like it.
Yeah, let's go and go to that 7. So being in a safer environment for the girls meant like I could kind of let my guard down. Like the big picture down to the small picture. The small picture is I can let my guard down a lot. I don't have to be so hyper vigilant on them and their safety and being so anxious about what's happening with my kids, who's looking at them, if they're endangered of being snatched, and so on and so forth, right?
Okay.
School shootings, all those things I don't have to worry about. So that was just like a big key factor for me.
Okay.
Education, safety, and then cost of living.
Cost of living.
Yeah. Cost of living. So for a fair comparison, the average monthly income for Los Angeles is about $2,700, so $2,700. The average income in Portugal for this year, 2024, is only 86 euros.
Ouch.
Yeah. So the cost of living here is a lot cheaper, which also means the expenses are a lot cheaper and much more affordable. So the cost of living in Los Angeles, everybody knows it's ridiculous. Even making $2,700, that price is before taxes, just so we're clear.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
gross.
That's gross.
Ouch.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, after taxes and rent or your mortgage and gas, food prices, it's not an easy lifestyle to live. Again, you're stuck at this level, at the basic needs. You don't get to go any further than that, and that's not what I wanted for our family, and it's damn sure not what I wanted for the girls. I want so much more for their life. Like you can't even reach your full potential if you're stuck in survival mode for so long. So yeah, cost of living. I like being somewhere where everything is cheaper. I like being somewhere where my US dollar can go a lot further. Yes, I enjoy that quite a bit. So yeah, those are the main key factors, like cost of living, education, safety, and I'm gonna just throw a couple other tidbits in there, right?
Come on.
Because, like, this affected me too, you know what I mean? Like, the food quality. You know how serious I was about the food quality when it came to the girls in the States.
Yeah.
They were strictly vegan from conception, birth, up until the point that we lived here.
Yeah.
No dyes, no sugars, no additives, none of that was in their day-to-day diet. And that took a lot of work and a lot of money too.
Yeah.
It did. Like, they had a separate delivery service just for their own food.
We ate one thing and they had to eat something completely different.
Right. And now we could have ate healthier.
We could.
We could have.
But we didn't.
We invested in the girls. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we get to benefit from the healthier lifestyle, and the healthier food, and the additives, and so on and so forth. So that not only took a responsibility off our plate, but it also took a worry. I don't have to worry about additional hormones and chemicals and things like that being put into the food.
Yeah,
So
it's not allowed.
it's not allowed.
It's not allowed.
Not here in the EU.
Mm-mm. Keep that over there.
Over there. And then
To the
lastly, and then lastly is healthcare. Now, that wasn't like a huge concern
No.
because, you know, essentially we're fairly healthy, so we don't really have too many issues. But the healthcare system here is actually free. And like I said, I enjoy a place that's a lot cheaper where my money can go further. So if the healthcare is free, that's a win. A win is a win.
If you ever received a medical bill, you know it ain't pretty.
Not only that, like, we both paid for health insurance for kids. Yeah. Yeah. And mine was $350 per month. Per month to cover the family. Do you remember what yours
I don't
was?
want to talk about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just saying.
It wasn't pretty.
We paid a lot of money per month. Like $350 for me, and then his not want to talk about it. It was ridiculous.
It hurt.
Versus free. I like free. Free is nice. I like free.
Free.
So those were the key factors for me. But I mean, this video has definitely been more positive than negative. But to give a full scale, in all honesty, like, we've gained some things, we've lost some things. So what are some things that you would say, even though we decided to make this move, we've been gung-ho about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you actually lost?
Well, I mean, for me, I feel like it's not a loss, it's just like a sacrifice, especially a sacrifice at the moment. So
Okay, all
for
right,
me,
that's fair.
I feel like with this move, I have sacrificed a lot of my close family relationships. So I have a lot of cousins, I have a lot of, not nieces and nephews, but I have a couple nieces and nephews. And with that, I'm not so easily accessible. And they're not so easily accessible. In my past, it's been, hey, cousin, uncle, we want to come by, we want to stop by, our sis, my sister, my brother. We're going to stop by, we're going to come through, who's in the neighborhood, we're going to come see you. Cool, no problem, come on by.
Yeah.
Because we're way over here, that is not on the table anymore.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's going to be a lot more planning and a lot more finances involved for us to keep that
The relationship?
not the relationship, because the relationship's gonna still be there, but it's just like that feel of,
It's got to be more intentional now.
yes,
You got to put a lot more effort
a lot
into
more
it.
of everything into it.
Yeah.
It just, hey, we're gonna pull up, fire up the grill, we're gonna throw this and that, it's not that no more. So I feel like that is what I have sacrificed on my end.
Yeah.
So just that bond with the close family.
I'm not gonna lie, that was probably like the biggest drawback and the biggest concern
Okay.
for me. And not even, okay, for me, right, like, I was mentally prepared for the distance. I was mentally prepared for having to be intentional in my relationships. I was mentally prepared for a lot of things.
Okay.
But the concern that I hadn't quite figured out I was talking to Uncle Craig,
Okay.
and I was telling him my main concern is the girls having like a real sense of family.
Okay.
Because you grew up with cousins. I grew up with cousins, aunts, and uncles, and everybody else, and those dynamics, those relationships, that sense of community and family, it helps shape not only your view of the world, but even how people see you, and you learn things, right? Because it takes a community. Like, the girls ain't just gonna learn from me, they gonna learn from you, they would learn from their cousins, and so on and so
Take
forth.
away pieces.
Right. And so, when I was talking to my uncle, he made a promise that him, and my auntie Tiny would come out here a minimum of 3 times a year. So that eased that sense of worry, right? And that's all I was worried about, is the effects that it had on the girls. Well, yeah, hit me kind of hard too, not gonna lie. I feel like what I've lost or gave up, or I don't even have the right word for it, to be honest with you, because it's not that I lost or gave up, but what I've sacrificed. That's fair. What I've sacrificed is, it's a weird feeling of closeness. Because it's like, I still talk to my family and my cousins every single day.
Don't miss a beat.
Through a chat, whatever,
Don't
WhatsApp,
miss a
like
beat.
we still are involved.
I can't even do 2 fingers. It gotta be like 3.
Like that.
4.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Now, all right.
No game
So we're still heavily involved in each other's day-to-day life. Like that, I don't think that's ever gonna change. But it was just this feeling of knowing that, like, within 30 minutes, I could see them and we could go.
A wee spot. Oh, my bad. Or I'm sorry.
No innocent plugs. We're not getting paid by them. Mind your business, sir.
Okay.
Anyway,
Uh,
we don't just get to link up like we would. You know what I mean? Go get matching
nails
tattoos,
done, photo shoots.
nails done, photo shoots, massages, go have lunch.
What's the name of that show y'all was? I can't even know the name of the shows, but y'all go to the little shows in the shows.
Oh, yeah, we can't go to Mary's.
Yeah.
We can't
No
go to
innocent plugs.
Oh, I didn't say what it was.
You said something.
Anywho, so we can't just go to those things, and I mean, it's not that.
You miss it.
It's not just that I miss it,
You miss them.
but I lived for some of those moments. Some of those moments of being in community with my family, having the guard down, just laughing and giggling, and girl time and fun. Oh, I miss it so much. But I mean, not just them. You know, it's other family members that I miss. It's other friendships that I miss. Like being able to pull up on the girl's goddad.
Or the group.
I saw him a minimum of once a month. A minimum of once a month.
Faithfully.
So to not just be able to pull up and we mess around and have a 2-hour-long conversation, whether it was a debate, an argument, or a laugh.
Argument. Those be the best to hear about.
Anyway.
Best food.
But yes, so it's just some of those things that I didn't think that I was gonna miss so much. I didn't realize like how much they impacted like my day-to-day life. Those are some of the things that I definitely sacrificed for sure. And the group, we gotta be more intentional with like texting and calling and stuff like that because of the time difference when it comes to the group. So yeah, it's a lot of effort. It's a lot more effort. And I feel like the effort has to be on my side because I'm the one who made the decision. But yeah, it's a lot more effort. But that's enough of that. I've been holding back tears. Seriously. But what are some of the things that you say that you gained? Because this move has definitely affected both of us in different ways. And we might have sacrificed some things, but I'm sure there are things that you gained from making this move, even in just this short period of time.
Okay. What I feel like I've gained a sense of understanding, truthfully. So I understand, or I have a better connection with my children, my younger children, my 3-year-old and my 2-year-old.
She's
I'm sorry,
4.
4-year-old soon to be 5, and my 2-year-old soon to be 3.
That's not fair either, cause that girl ain't been 4 even 6 months yet, so she ain't soon to be 5.
You're right, but tell her that. So that connection, that being able to wake up with them and go through their range of emotions
Oh yeah.
up until the point of them starting their day off like the right way. I've been able to wake up with them, sit with them, chill with them, laugh with them, yell with them, because boy do they yell back and forth with each other. And sometimes even at me.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Facts.
they yell at me.
Yeah, me too.
Daddy! I've been able to sit there and do that with them on a more consistent and a regular basis, instead of me having to wake up with them, do a little bit with them, and then hit the door because I got to get dressed and go to work. I've been able to roll out of bed, get myself together, and then deal with them, tend to them.
Make breakfast.
Make breakfast.
That's
right there on the
actually a
spot.
big difference.
Yeah.
Like literally be able to make breakfast for the kids when they wake up.
But why you say it's a big difference?
Cause it is a big difference. Cause you would normally have to go to work. You wasn't making breakfast for them.
Somebody getting that extra beauty sleep in, but we ain't gonna talk about it.
I wasn't pointing fingers, but all right. Clearly, this worked.
So I'm able to cook them breakfast fresh off the stove, prep their breakfast for them, sit down with them, make sure they eating, make sure they not like leaning on the table, playing around, goofing off, getting down, running to the playroom, coming back to the table. I'm able to sit
Instilling
there.
some of the manners in them, so
Yep.
they know how to behave themselves.
Yep. So I'm able to sit there with them and go through all those things with them. And after eating, I'm able to help get them dressed, help get them prepped and prepare for school, which is not something I was ever able to do because my last job I held back in the States, of course, I had to be at work at 7:30, not on the way to work, not
Yeah.
walking the door, I was. And then some of those days I wasn't even home. Anywho, the goal is to be here at this time, and the goal for the girls to be on their way outdoors at this time. And you still got time to transition, from home to work. So being able to be home with them is a great gain plus positive for me. I'm able to spend more time with them, doing things with them, engaging with them, and sometimes trying to ignore them, but they don't let you go with that. Daddy. Yes, baby.
I love it. Because they're not saying, mommy. I'm like, yeah, call daddy. Call daddy. Call him. Yeah.
So that's also,
He's here.
That's also one of the greatest success. I'm able to alleviate mommy's stress level some, because she still got to deal with me. From the babies, driving her up a wall.
Yeah. Okay. So being here, being more present, being more of an active role. But you know what? Creative too, because we've gotten creative in terms of doing things. We done pulled out the trampoline.
Yeah.
We done pulled out the little science experiments that we call magic with the water and the baking soda. Yeah. They paint almost every single day.
Yeah.
We got to the point at one point where we were doing frequent trips to the park, sometimes 2 times a day.
Yeah.
We gotten pretty creative in how to spend our day. But you know what? I realized that through their lens, every day is like an adventure.
Yep.
No matter what we choose to do.
Especially when we go exploring.
When we go explore, which is just a walk.
Just a walk.
Just a walk. But we're gonna go explore. And
they-
we're gonna look
and
at
they love
the
it.
cars
And they love it.
and the
They love it.
trees and look, there's a bus and
I see a white car. I
and
see a green car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot more things that we weren't able to do, essentially in the States.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what have I gained? What would I say I've gained?
You gave me at home a lot more often.
What would I say I've gained? I think we both on par, like with the being home, being more present with the girls. I mean, I was home with them now anyway, but I feel like the time that I spend with them is a lot more quality and a less about just like correction and just feeding them. You know what I mean? It's less about, okay, I gotta feed you so we can get to this activity, and then I gotta make sure, you know, your diapers change and this is packed so we can get to that activity. Like, things have slowed down tremendously, and I'm able to be a lot more present just with the girls. And then I get naps, siestas,
I told you.
daily.
I told you. She likes to sleep.
Daily naps. I've had more time for reading. I've had more time to even catch up on shows. Like, yo, I know that may not be a big deal to some people, but again, our youngest is 2. She's not quite 3 yet. So I've been momming for years on top of years.
She still does that mommy.
Yeah. So now I get to like, it sounds so small, but just like
The minute things matter.
the minute things do matter. They really, really do. But like, just being able to have some individual time, some quality time, tap back into some of the things that I enjoyed, like reading books. But I think what I've appreciated more than anything else is the time that I spent with the girls. It feels like it's a lot more quality based. Instead of just all of these hours, I feel like within those hours, we're filling them with a lot more enjoyment of one another. So yeah.
You ready?
For what? You got so many teeth.
The idea
Mm-hmm.
versus the reality
Of moving here?
of living here.
Okay. The idea.
Versus
Okay.
the reality.
The idea. I don't know. My idea kind of fits the
Okay.
reality. Like,
Okay.
what I pictured was a slower paced lifestyle. Check. I pictured more effective cost of living. Check. I pictured a life that had a lot more leisure time available. Check. Like, I don't know. I'm living my idea. My ideal situation, I should say.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm gonna say instead of reality being like a downside, I'll say the reality has been more of a positive. And the reason being is because I'm often surprised by some of the things that I find out about the culture or the country itself.
Okay.
So there are some things that I didn't have any ideas about, right? Like, I didn't necessarily, it's such small things. Like, I didn't necessarily have an idea, like in the mall, that they have a hand washing station, like for adults and for children. That wasn't an idea I had. But the reality is that in a lot of the infrastructure, they take families into consideration.
Everybody.
Like literally everybody, from disabled all the way down to infants. Like, everybody's included in a society, and you can see it in the infrastructure in terms of like handrails and even just like cultural norms in terms of like respect for one another. Like, elderly are given more priority. They can cut the line, baby.
And nobody.
Nobody bats an eye, says anything. Nobody's in a rush. They understand if you've been here long enough, you kind of get to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're elderly, you get first priority in terms of every place. We've been to IKEA. They get a priority sticker at IKEA and get to cut the line. Like I'm saying, there are some things that I did not have ideas or ideals about, but the reality is very pleasant, and I'm pleasantly surprised at the reality of it. So
They got some things right.
they got a lot of things right.
They got some things right.
They definitely have a lot of things right here. So what was your idea versus your reality?
Well, I mean,
No, what ideas did you have about this place? Or what did you expect your life to be like?
I didn't have many expectations
Mm-hmm.
or any like real ideas. Now, what was like a good type of check and balance for me was me growing up in America. Like, of course, other countries, places, locations speak different languages, especially if you go out and travel you have to understand it.
Right.
I didn't do much traveling. I didn't know. All right, so I just assumed everyone spoke English. Just did, right? Just did. Yeah.
Excuse me.
That didn't. That idea is long gone because
He knows better now.
I know now
He knows better
that
now.
the simplest move can change everything, and then you being able to speak English or communicate with anyone is a real thing, especially when you're the visitor. So me growing up and living in America, of course, I am not the visitor. I am a local resident, and that other people, I grew up in South Central, so you got Hispanic, Spanish, and it's a good thing to learn Spanish because then you can,
Right.
you know, be
Talk to
well
everybody
versed,
across the board. Yeah.
in California. So,
So it was an option, but it wasn't a necessity.
right. So here, it's truly a necessity and not an option because if you know none of it, none of the Portuguese language, then you're kind of in trouble, buddy. It's not a very, very difficult language to learn if you know some Spanish.
And the only reason why he's saying that is because the alphabet is the same.
Yeah.
So physically looking at it, the alphabet is the same as the Spanish alphabet. So instead of like, let's say Korean, where there are markings or characters, there's actual letters and there's an alphabet that you can kind of familiarize yourself with.
Yeah.
The only difference is the pronunciation. The pronunciation, completely different than Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the spelling of words. So it's familiar in the look, but that's kind of where it ends.
But even with the familiarity. Yeah, there you go.
Uh-huh.
You still are in the right ballpark.
Yeah, yeah. Like water, agua.
Yeah, right ballpark.
You know what I mean? Like, there's certain words that do translate over from Spanish
Yep.
to Portuguese. But what I've appreciated when it comes to like the language barrier is that Portuguese, they are happy when you try.
Yes.
They are happy when you, except for the pharmacist, he clowned me. But besides him, for the most part,
He told you nice try.
yeah, he did. But like he clowned me. He was just like, stop, just speak English.
Yeah, he told her. He said, "It's okay. I speak English."
Like knock it off, cause I was trying.
She was trying Portuguese mixed with Spanish.
Look, I was trying.
I wouldn't say English was in there, but I think she was purposely avoiding English. So it was Portuguese mixed with Spanish. And he was like,
just speak English.
I understand.
But for the most part, the Portuguese are very happy when you at least try. You know what I mean? And oftentimes I get the phrase, "I'm sorry, my English isn't good." And I'm like, oh no, boo.
My
Portuguese isn't good.
worse.
I'm here in your country. Like, no. My Portuguese isn't good. I'm sorry. So instead of it being like that whole negative mindset of like, you're a foreigner, you don't speak our language, no, it's thank you for trying, and I'm sorry I don't speak English, which is mind-boggling. Because to me, it's like, I gotta do better. Like the girls, they can actually count to 10 in Portuguese.
10?
No, okay, so Levy can count further.
She
For
counts
sure.
Way further.
Than 10 in Portuguese. Yeah, Levy does.
She puts us to shame sometimes.
Yeah. That's the 4-year-old, if y'all don't know. Very gifted child. Hey, for all those people who say they want, like, oh, I wish my child was gifted, or or you know, I want them to be so smart.
No, you don't.
It's good until it's not.
Yeah, because then you gotta spell everything.
And it's only good until they learn to spell. And then once they learn to spell, they start asking you, well, mommy, what do you mean?
What's this? What's that?
C-A-N-D-Y candy? And
Can I have some?
the 4-year-old. Anyway, we're rambling on. But so that was your idea versus the reality of it was a language barrier.
Yeah.
But you know what? I want to say English is spoken widely in Portugal.
Yes.
We happen to live in a little suburb area off the little second largest city in the country. So if we were in, like, let's say Lisbon,
The main
or if we were in Porto, I don't think we would have any trouble whatsoever. But you know what? I like it. Gives the opportunity to grow, gives us and learn
language.
and practice the language for sure.
Yes.
But so that was this idea versus reality. Is there anything else that you want to address in regards to the move?
If this was a good idea or a bad idea, we can touch on that a little bit.
I mean, are you at? Like, you go first.
I can go first.
Cause I got nothing but good to say.
Of course,
I love my new home country.
Oh my lord! So
My countrymen,
country folk.
country folk.
So I mean, all right. So for me, it feels like, and I've yet to regret anything just yet. It feels like it's been a good idea to make the move to Portugal, essentially. I've been able to give my wife a break mentally, ish.
Yeah, cause you bug me.
Ish. Yeah, mentally, ish. So, with that being said, she's been able to have a little break, take a step back from doing everything by herself solely, because when I was going to work, it would just be her and whoever was helping or tending to the girls. So it'll be my mother-in-law, her mom, at some point, and then it'll be dance at some point, it'll be ballet at some point, it'll be gymnastics at some point, it'll be gym at some point.
Karate.
It'll be like all these different
Activities
things
to
that
keep them entertained, to keep them stimulated,
keep them moving,
learning.
and of course my energy, getting some of that energy out, you know what I mean? So now that I'm home, or now we make this move, I am home and I'm able to do some of those things myself. I can help out, I can make sure she's able to get those naps in, those siestas.
Siestas. I'm a part of the siesta vibe.
So to me, I'm home experiencing with my family. I'm home going through all the emotions with my family. So the good stuff, the bad stuff, the not so great stuff. Keeping the house clean, managing the girls' behavior, managing the messes that they make or may not make. Hey, managing my own mess, ish. So to me, good, because hopefully this translates into something more gainful for us in the future. Just us in the future.
Okay. But you're not talking about my kids though, right?
Oh,
okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that you're talking about gainful
but
in
no
the
more
future.
babies.
No more babies. Okay, all right. But you know what? You've also been able to be a part of their whole education too, to see where the girls are,
Yeah.
to see
I'm at home to experience a lot more of them.
Yeah, and them in general. That's true. Okay, so it was a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Good idea.
Good idea.
Yeah. Oh, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. It was a good idea. It was my idea. It was a real good idea. I'm glad we did it. Look.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk on and on about what we've gained and what I wanted and how great and so on and so forth. It's just I don't know. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. And I wish that a lot of my family and friends would also make the decision, because then we could just have everything. Then I would have everything, right? Shh. Everybody's not.
Okay.
Then I would have everything if everybody was here. And they decided to make the move. But no, for sure this was a good idea for me. For sure this was a good idea for my girls and our family. And I mean, I want to say it was a good idea for you too personally, because you mentioned how you feel safer here as a black man.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even mention that.
No.
In terms of the gaming stuff and all of that,
we
you
don't want to talk about the police.
I wasn't just talking about the police.
Well,
Safety is relative, right?
I don't have to worry about the police. I don't have to worry about other colorful folk trying to do things and be some type of way. I ain't got to worry about any folk trying to do anything to be some type of way.
Because you don't really stand out. You're just a person. You're not You're not a black person. You're just a person.
You don't walk down the street and a person clutches.
No, there's no clutch.
You don't walk down the street and a person sidesteps to make space.
No sidestepping.
So it's just like
being able just to let your guard down because you know people
Hey.
don't have their guard up around you.
yeah, you're a human, you're a person, and they're just gonna give you due respect and either
However you conduct yourself.
hi,
Yeah.
bon dia,
Bon dia. Good
when
morning.
you leave, ciao.
Hola. Ciao. Bye.
Yeah,
The highs and the byes and the good mornings.
Everybody.
Yeah. So, it's a good idea. We hope that you guys will join us on the move. We hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode of Why We Move. We are the McKinstries on the move. Like, subscribe, ask questions,
Comment.
do all the things, comments. Because here's the thing, we can keep talking about ourselves all day.
but if you want something very specific,
We kind of need to know that because, like, we have plans in the future, right? Like, we have plans on, you know, the steps it took to get here and the visa process and the budgeting and all those technical things. But if that's not what y'all want to see,
or hear about,
we kind of need to know.
you know,
So, like, subscribe, comment, be nosy,
poke around,
share it to other people.
ask them questions. Man.
Yeah. But we love you. Mwah. Hopefully you join us on the move. Bye.